Okay.
Right, so what was my topic? Mine was worst things you've done.
Okay, worst things I've done.
And I'm not talking about legally.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about, like, breaking the law or incriminating yourself on this.
That's not always...
medium.
Breaking the law's not always... You don't feel guilty about it. You feel more scared of the repercussions of what you've done. But I think worst thing you've done is stuff that you've actually genuinely
I don't know.
felt
If
bad
I
for.
murdered a small child, I'd probably feel quite guilty.
No,
about
but what
it.
I'm saying is that's for your own reasons as opposed to the law, if you know what I mean. Like, you'll feel guilty because you murdered a child, not because the law tells you shouldn't do it. So I think it's
Whereas
guilt.
if you nick a Hot Wheels from Jackson's or whatever, you're not going to feel guilty about it.
No.
It's like,
So you've got to start, because obviously...
So we're talking like morally, like, awful.
I think it's just where you've afterwards just been like, oh, I feel like the worst person in the world. You know what I mean? I think that's a good way of judging it. Like, where just afterwards you thought, I'm a shitty person. I've actually got one.
I've got the worst that any human being's ever done.
Go on.
It was unintentional.
Go on. Everyone's shouting at home that they need to hear it. Shout it now. We want to hear it. There you go.
Wow.
I heard them.
All of them.
Yeah.
All one of you.
We want to hear it.
Right, okay, so fast forward a good few years. I was maybe...
Do you mean rewind? Fast forward a good few years.
No,
So what,
I'm
when
on
you're
about
40?
my next life.
Yeah.
When I
Okay.
die and get
That's
reincarnated.
what I'm going to do. Okay, go on.
Fast forward back a few years, whatever. Rewind a few years.
Yeah.
To, how old will I have been? I'd have probably been about 11.
Okay.
Maybe 10.
All right.
11, I'm guessing.
That's a bad age.
Why is it bad age?
Well, it's an age where you're not a child anymore and you're starting to
I see.
experiment with adulthood and starting to push the boundaries and see what you can do. And I think that's where you usually do your worst stuff.
I don't know. I
Mine
think
was
like 13, 14 's the
Yeah,
worst,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because,
okay, yeah.
Because you are, all intents and purposes, down below a man.
Yeah.
You can jizz,
Yeah.
but you can't drink.
Oh,
You know what I
you
mean?
can jizz, but you can't drink. Yeah, yeah.
So that's
Okay.
the weird age.
All right.
But no, it was before the
jizzing
weird age. I was
years.
11 years old.
Yeah.
And I was at school,
Okay.
as you do at 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the playground at dinner or break
Yeah.
or whatever kind of time it was. And my friend said to me, oh, I dare you to go up to that kid and just say, your mum goes, bleh, like that. So I was like, all right. That's easy. So I just went up to this kid and I was like,
coming.
your mum goes, bleh. Yeah. So for the audio listeners, I'm sort of like grabbing my neck and doing a funny sort
Swinging
of
his tongue around.
swinging my tongue around.
Like it's 1969.
And they probably heard the sound.
Yeah.
So then his kid runs off crying. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, done it. Boom, did it. Easy.
Mind
easy.
blown.
Next. Let's
Okay.
go. Let's go. Try and impress some girls by telling them that we're ghosts. That's what me and him used to do.
Please don't tell
We
me.
used to impress girls
Yeah.
by telling them that it was actually ghosts. There's one. If you're out on a night out, you just go up and you go, I'm a ghost. Do you know what my proof was that I was a ghost? Because other people couldn't seem to do this thing.
Go on.
Well, this is really going to be one just for the visual listeners. It's really
okay.
not going to be able to like...
All right. Watch this on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll just watch this segment on YouTube. So, we would go up to a girl and we'd go, all right, I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
Impress him. And they go, no, you're not a ghost. Prove it. So, do you know what's proof for a ghost? Is putting your hands like that, like the kind of Spock kind of thing, and going...
That is what ghosts do.
Like that.
Yeah?
And then everyone else was trying, doing it with the tongue, and where it's succeeding.
Yeah. Why have we
Ghost
got Niagara Falls? I can just hear Niagara
I don't know,
Falls.
it's a weird sound.
Yeah.
There's really weird sounds happening around us. Just ignore that.
Just check what it is.
So I was did that, and that proves that you're a ghost.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Yeah, well, if I know I talk to ghosts, don't I?
Yeah, around the table.
Around the table.
And then when the dinner commences, instead of saying grace, they go...
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. That's facts.
So that's proof there was ghosts. Anyway, so So then a few minutes later, I get called into the principal's office.
Yeah.
The head teacher's office. And was getting slagged off. My mum was there. My dad was there.
Yeah.
I think my granddad was there for some reason.
Everyone was there.
Everyone was there. Mahatma Gandhi was there. He was dead, so he was getting... So everyone was there, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. What is it? My birthday? Something? Who's died?" And then they were like, "Oh, you've died." You goes, "No," and they were like, "That child's mum killed herself. Either the day it was that week. I don't know if it was the day before.
God.
And got found by that child.
Oh my God.
And she'd hung herself from like the banister, hung
no.
herself down." She killed herself. This little child, 10 years old. He was the year below me, so either 9 or 10 years old, depending where it was in the year. Had walked in, seen their mum hanging.
Jesus. She was dead, should have been like that.
Exactly. So she was still alive. She was still alive. So he'd gone into that, and I just went up to and like wrapped my hands around my neck as if I was strangling myself, and goes, "Your mum goes, nah." But I genuinely didn't know.
That's awful.
I genuinely didn't know. That wasn't like any error on my part. I just thought, well, yeah, of course I'll do that. It's easy. No sweat.
Oh, no.
But I still, to this day, feel like absolutely like the worst person in the world. Nobody would believe that I didn't know.
Yeah.
All my parents,
yeah.
everything I got, they absolutely shit beaten out of me. I was like, it was bad. I think I got like expelled.
That's a bad one. Mine was from recently, and it was something me and you did. But it was bad. It was funny, which was a joke that we played on my dad. Do you remember?
No.
When? Okay, so what we did is he always fills the kettle. Like,
Yeah.
It was a bad one. So he always...
When you was from recently, I was like, I thought you meant like the last week, but it was about 6 months ago.
Yeah. So he always makes a point of, before he goes to bed, he fills the kettle and gets his tea bag ready and in his mug for the morning. Yeah, so he always does that. So we'd gone on the night, and we was like, we're going to play a series of like Home Alone practical jokes on him. So we put...
Oh yeah, there was a few, weren't they?
There was loads, and that's why it was so funny, because it was
can't remember what any of them were.
Well,
I remember
the first one we did is we put coffee in the kettle, so that... And we just thought, it'll be funny because it'll make his cup of tea just taste of coffee. But apparently it makes the kettle like blow up. So we did that. We also took his wallet out of his pocket of his fleece and replaced it with a pita bread.
Oh yeah, because that's when you was gluten free. The reason why I was around there, you'd gone around and had like a kebab or something.
Yeah.
But you couldn't eat the pita bread.
Yeah.
So it was just on the side.
So I put the pita bread in his pocket instead of his wallet. Filled the kettle up with like crap that he couldn't like.
Lemon juice was
in
coffee.
it. Lemon juice and coffee, and we put all the tea bags in the blender. And what else did we do? There was one more that like just tipped it over the edge. But anyway, because what had happened in the morning is that he'd gone downstairs.
Like, put his cereal in the cup and the cup or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous. So what made it funny was in the morning, he'd gone down to make a cup of tea, put the kettle on. The kettle had exploded, made it making the full house.
No. What happened was because it had like had some reaction in it, and with the boiling, it had all overflowed. And went over all the electrical like components of
which
it.
Nearly killed him.
And it
just stank of lemon and coffee.
Created like, you know in the Resident Evil movie when that waffle thing
Hang on,
comes
wait a
across?
minute. Resident Evil.
When that waffle machine comes across with the electric, it kind of made that.
Yeah. So it made some weird electric current blow up the
in
kettle.
his kitchen.
And then he was like kicking off, and then he was like, right, I'm going to have to go to shops now and buy a new kettle. Goes to the shops. And instead of taking his wallet out of his pocket, there's just a bit of bread there. That was... But the reason...
It got to the till before he realised.
Yeah, but still, that was funny.
What kind of crazy man, like, what do you think? Like, there's a man who's just like, oh, that's £27, please, and he just get a bit of bread.
So, that was the, but I felt like shit afterwards because I realised that I nearly killed him. But yeah, that was funny. That was probably a bad one.
Probably, you think?
Yeah, that was a bad thing to do.
I think
yours was worse.
Mine was definitely worse.
Yours was worse.
Mine was definitely worse.